All right. Hello, everybody. Let me see. Hi, my name is Dr. Jana Konovalenko, and I am going to let you guys all trickle in for a couple of seconds. So you are on a free class on time management for busy doctors, dentists specifically, more specifically women, but we love our men. So let me tell you a little bit what is going to happen here. On the bottom of your screen, you're going to see Q&A box. So if you have any questions or any way for us to communicate, just drop a question in the Q&A and I'll answer them as we go. All right, before we start, before I share my screen, can somebody in a Q&A let me know that you can see me and hear me okay? You don't trust the tech. All right, let me see. Someone is here already. Okay, guys, in the Q&A, let me know. Okay, yes, I can hear you. Okay, all right. Okay, great. All right, guys. Hi. So happy to be doing this webinar. It's been a minute. I have been planning on. Thank you. I've been planning on doing this webinar for a couple months now, but I got sick. Some of you got the email that I had fever, unexpected, so not fun. So we're doing it again. Awesome. All right, guys. So let me share my screen with you and we will start the presentation. All right, I'm gonna share my screen and hopefully tech works. All right, guys, let me know if you can see my screen. And we are going to, not that, we are going to rock and roll. Okay, amazing. All right, time is your friend. So, who is this class for? Are you in the right place? I don't know if you guys know, but I am an orthodontist. I'm obviously a dentist. I was like, for a minute, how do I introduce myself? I'm obviously a dentist. I am a board certified orthodontist. And when I saw the video that I'm about to show you, I was thinking, yes, I need to add it in my presentation. This is exactly who this class is for. All right, let's see. Hopefully it's going to play. So have you guys seen that? Yeah. So this is who this class is for. Practicing dentist or dental assist or dental specialist. Like I said, I'm an orthodontist. That video, my orthodontist here in the audience can probably relate through the previous video. Genius. I love that so much. Me and my husband were laughing, crying. He's not an orthodontist, but he knows what it's like. So today's class is for anybody who is a dentist or a dental specialist, any specialty. Many of my clients are orthodontists, periodontists, endodontists. I have a pediatric dentist, so anybody goes. Practice owners. I'm going to speak a lot to practice owners, but also associates. If you're maybe considering, like, I don't know, maybe in the future, this class is definitely for you. And for people who, you have some life commitments, some serious life commitments. You're married, you have children, maybe you have aging parents, or, there's something going on health-wise where you just juggle a lot. And then in addition to that, you have to go to doctor's appointments and do all these things. So if this is you, definitely stay tuned. Also, I forgot to make another important announcement. For those who are listening to the replay, I don't speak very fast. So I highly recommend that you speed up this baby for at least 1.5, 1.75 speed. All right. The rest of you guys, it's going to be great. So if you're a practicing dentist, especially if you're an owner, or you have children, I've got you. So who am I? Why should you listen to me? Hi. Oops. There we go. Let me see. Let me move this to the side. All right. Amazing. All right, guys. So this is me. My name is Dr. Jana Konovalenko. Like I said, I'm a board certified orthodontist, have been for 8 years now. I was doing math before this class. It's been a minute. I finished my first dental school in 2009. So whoever's good at math, not me, it's been a minute. So I'm an orthodontist and I'm also a certified life coach here through the Life Coach School. There are a lot of different certification programs out there, and that's what I did. And this is my team. I'm right here in the back. I'm married. I have 2 children. Oh, hang on, you can't see me. We're having some lovely dinner here. I have a younger son and an older daughter. I love to cook. And oh, tech is really good today. And all other things. So that's a little bit about me. And on top of it, I own a business, just like many of you guys. So juggling many hats is not foreign to me. And I have found a way to make it work. And I have coached many, 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 many doctors by now on how to juggle it well. And I hope this will be helpful for you as well. All right. So what are we going to learn in today's class? I'm going to teach you my 3-step system to make time your friend. All right. Then we're going to talk about some common obstacles, why you may not be following through in the system or where you may be falling short. I've got you. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Okay. Then we're going to look at top 3 mistakes that I see doctors doing over and over and over again that are costing them time. And in the end, we are going to do some Q&As. Let me see if I can, I was gonna hide this, but it's not happening. All right, so what comes to your mind when you think about time? Tell me, guys. I'm just curious. Tell me in the Q&A. What do you think when you think about time? If you're anything like I used to be, and many of my clients when we first meet, your thought is, I don't have time. There's just a lot going on, or I have a lot to do. So I really like this analogy here, like this nice little closet here. So if our relationship with time is kind of negative, kind of negligent a little bit, like we think that we don't have time, we don't feel really great when somebody says, do you have time? You're like, oh, another thing on my list. Our day, our week, our schedule will look kind of like this closet. It's kind of messy and we feel icky about it. So we don't really want to go there and open it and organize it, right? So I am spending some time on this because this is really important. Another glossy planner is not going to change how your days run. It just won't, okay? You probably know that. I am going to give you a ton of strategy today that's proven, tried, and true, but it truly all starts with your attitude. Okay, I want you to, like I said, write it down, write it in the Q&A, or think about it. What do you think when somebody asks you, what's your relationship with time? What do you think about your time? All right, this is very important that you know. Okay, let's look about next slide. So remember how I say your attitude towards time. We have a finite number of hours in a week, right? Simple math. We have exactly 168 hours in a week. Assuming we sleep 8 hours a day for 7 days, that leaves us with 112 hours in a week, okay? Let's say you work a full-time job, maybe even 50 hours, not 40 with commute. It still leaves you with 62 hours a week. Did you know that? You have 62 hours a week. That's like 3 full days outside of full-time work. What do you do with that time? Now, if your attitude towards time is, I don't have enough time, I am constantly overwhelmed or in a hurry, or there's just so much going on, then the quality of your week is not going to be great. Okay? So I really want you to think about, what if you thought, I'm figuring it out. Maybe I could have enough time for everything I want. Maybe I'm going to learn something on this webinar. This changes a little bit the narrative of how you look at your week, and it will produce different results. I promise you, guarantee. Okay, spend some time on this. Let's just think what we can think differently about time. Okay. All right. Here's the 3-step system. You guys ready? Coming with some strategy at you. Very simple. Write, highlight, schedule light. Cute, right? I know. Thank you. Write, highlight, schedule light. These are the 3 things that you need to do in order to have order in your week. Truly, promise you. If you do these 3 things, you're not going to be overwhelmed. You are not going to feel like you're reactive. You are going to stop putting up fires. Things are going to be predictable. And when emergencies happen, you will have time to react to them appropriately in the moment and still follow through on all of your commitments. Okay, write, highlight, schedule light. Okay, let's look at each of these steps individually. Step number 1, write. Okay, does your office look like this? I can relate to that. I love my sticky notes. So very important. I want you to unload everything from your brain somewhere. You might be like me and you love sticky notes or notepads. You might be all iCal and electronic and emails and things like that. It does not matter, but it's very, very important that you don't keep all your tasks in your head, truly. This is the number one, you will see later, mistake that people make is they just try to keep everything in their head and then they go to bed and then they have insomnia because our brains were not designed to be a sticky note, to store information, okay? They're going to slow down like a computer. You won't be able to make decisions fast. So step number 1, I want you to unload, write down everything from your brain on the sticky note, on the computer, or on a list, preferably like a sheet of paper, not like this, a gazillion of sticky notes, okay? And this is a ninja tip for you. I want you to keep a running like sheet, a list for the entire week. Like as you remember, oh, I need to get milk. Oh, I need to send an email. Like I want you to have a place somewhere. I have it on my calendar. Some people have it like text themselves or have it on your phone in the notes. I want you to keep track of all the little things, which you'll see in step 3. Schedule light is when you're going to schedule those things, okay? So step 1, write it down. Do not keep it in your head, please. All right, step 2, highlight, okay? So what I'm talking about here is prioritizing. So you have your beautiful list. You got everything out of your brain. It's on a piece of paper. You're looking at it. It's a hot mess. There's so many things. You're like, oh my God, and I'm probably forgetting like 40% of it. That's okay. That's okay. Let's breathe. That is why you're going to have the running list for the remaining of your week if you forgot something, okay? So do the best you can, unload everything. Now we need to prioritize. Not everything on your list is equally important. Not everything on your list needs to be done today, all right? How do you prioritize? It's up to you. There are different systems. One of them is using highlighters, you see here on the picture. You're going to underline something that is urgent in red, something that's important in blue, like something is like good to have in orange, or you pick colors, okay? Another system that I teach my clients, and I actually just developed a whole series. So if you're interested in that, you can send me an email or I will send you some links to opt in, where I've created a 1-page planner where I help people prioritize things. And you see, it's like not a perfect matrix. Sometimes it's called a priority matrix because I found that not everything is equally important on our list, okay? And so you can prioritize it into urgent and important, non-urgent important, urgent, non-important, and then the last one is like nice to have, We don't need to worry about it. So basically you just make a cross in the middle of the sheet and then you categorize, put whatever's on your to-do list into these categories. The most important categories are two, the super urgent important, like we have to do it right away. And I have like a little definition here for you. What I consider urgent, it's totally how I do it. You can have your own definition, but that seemed to be working for me and my clients. Something that needs to be done within 24 hours, okay? Very urgent. And something important, how do we define important? I define it as something that leads to your bigger goals in life and career. And we're going to talk soon about that in more detail, okay? But for now, you have your list. You wrote everything that you could remember. You put it from your brain onto a piece of paper or online. Now you prioritize it, okay? Either with highlighters, I put here shapes, like sometimes I do this at the airport. If I don't have a highlighter, I would just write, like, for example, for something that's super important, it's like a, what do you call it? A star. And then for something that's like urgent is going to be a triangle, like different shapes if you only have a pen. Or you just make a cross in the middle of the sheet of paper and you do that priority matrix, okay? And so you categorize it into urgent and important. All right, so that was step 2. Step 3 is schedule light. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we have this priority list, and now we're going to transfer it in some sort of medium, some sort of either paper calendar, how I have a picture here, or electronic, like a lot of people love to use their iCal or on their iPhone, things like that. Does not matter, whatever works for you, whatever you're currently using. You can even do both. But you have got to transfer everything from that list on your paper. Now, many people at this point think, oh my God, Jana, there's just so many steps. It's taking me time. Like, it's taking me an hour that I could be doing something else. I hear you. Okay, let's all collectively take a deep breath. I promise you there's a reason for this, for the system. So I always like to bring this analogy. I want you to picture this. Most of us who have a lot going on in our life, we are constantly running, like picture pedaling on the bike. We're pedaling very quickly because we're just trying to catch up with all the things and do everything super fast and great. And we're pedaling, and we're like looking to the right, to the left. People next to us are pedaling too. And we're like, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted, but I have to go faster, right? What is a more efficient way to get to a destination? A more efficient way is to use a car, right? But car will not drive you to a destination. You have to like plug in the coordinates in the GPS, right? But in order to do that, you have to stop pedaling the bike and you actually have to punch in your destination specifically. You can just say park. It's like what park, what grocery store, right? You have to punch it very specifically, and then you're going to take off and you're going to drive there faster than you would have on a bike. You guys are following me? This is what we're doing with the system. It feels like it's taking time, and it is. It's taking a little bit of time. But the results that you will achieve from the system are like so much more significant than if you just keep doing what you're probably doing right now. Okay, so please give it a try. Paper, electronic. Here's the key. Most people, when they schedule something, and you can tell me in the Q&A if you've ever used a planner. I'm just curious to see what people are saying here. Let me know. So most of the time when people are scheduling, what do we do first? Like we take a calendar, what do? We put all our like appointments and we put all the meetings and we put all the work and we put all the stuff. And then we're like, oh, there's no time to work out. There's no time to sleep. There's no time to breathe. There's no time for anything, right? You're like, I don't want to do this. This is crazy. It gives me no room for myself. Scheduling doesn't work. So here's what I suggest. I suggest to do it differently. I suggest that you schedule yourself first. What do I mean by that? Put your workout time, put your me time. What do you like to do? You like to walk a dog, or you like to read, you like to have evening routine where you cleanse your face and dance, or whatever you like to do. You like to hang out with your friends, your husband, your things like that. Like, put you first. Next, we're going to put our family, like time with bath time, like I have on my calendar, bath time with my children, right? Date night with your husband, or just doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be just sleeping in for an hour, right? Like something that you want, something that you need to be sane, to be healthy, to be functional. Okay. Now, once we've done that, once we have scheduled ourselves, only now we're going to add work, extra tasks, our commute, appointments, responsibilities, and things like that. Okay. Now, what you're going to notice is you're going to look at your little schedule. You're going to say, Jana, after I schedule my workouts and my me time, there's like, and my work, there's not a lot time left for anything else. Yes, you're not wrong. And the reason why is because most of us who don't schedule things, don't calendar, we grossly overestimate how much time everything on our to-do list will take. We really, really overestimate. That's why we can never finish our to-do list. Okay. When you put it on the paper, when your calendar, suddenly you have an actual data, you can actually see how long things will take and how much you can actually cram in your week. So now you have a more realistic view of your week. Okay. I just realized actually I haven't added this step, which could be in the Q&A, but I'm going to answer it right now. Here's another question I get at this stage. People say, okay, Jana, but I don't know how long it's going to take me to do X, Y, Z. Let's say you're working on a project, you just bought a course on aesthetic dentistry or how to place implants or new Align course or something. I don't know. People are kind of against Invisalign right now, so I shouldn't be saying that. But you know what I mean? Like you got a professional course and you're like, oh my gosh, I paid all this money and I haven't even opened it. And then you ask me like, how do I know how long it's going to take me to complete it? So we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but I just want you to guess. I just want you to guess. Just guesstimate how long do you think it's going to take you, and actually err on the side of giving yourself less time. Because people always say, oh, I don't know how long it's going to take me. Do you remember when we were in dental school and we had a like anatomy test and they gave us 100 questions in 2 hours? How long did it take us to finish the test? Anyone? It took us 2 hours, right? How do they know how long it's going to take us? It's going to take us as long as we give ourselves. Okay. So now as an adult, there's no more external people setting timelines. I want you to start doing that for yourself. Okay. All right. So step 3, we put everything in the schedule. Now a couple of tips, productivity tips, my good stuff. So whenever you are putting things in your calendar, you want to be realistic, right? You know yourself, you've been around the block with yourself. You know when you're most productive. Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? Is it on the weekend? Is it Monday and Tuesday? I want you to keep that in mind, okay? And by the way, if you mess it up, if you don't get it right the first time, that's okay. All right, I'm going to teach you how to customize it in the future. So I want you to keep an eye on, excuse me, I want you to remember, or like not remember, I want you to take into account when do you do your best work and do that when you're scheduling, okay? Tip number 2 is don't forget sleep. Sleep is really important. We are not productive when we don't get enough sleep. Like I know it's always tempting, and maybe you like me were cramming, in dental school or in the residency, but we're a little bit older now and it's, we need sleep. So tired brain doesn't function very well, and it will be harder for you to stick to your schedule if you're tired. Now, tip number 3 is tidy up your environment. I'm sure that you all have experienced that when you're in a super messy room, you like can't focus. You're looking at all these things, and it's like sore for your eyes, right? Eyesore. So tidy up a little bit. Like you don't have to do a deep cleaning of your office, but tidy up a little bit your desk. You will be more productive. Okay. Pomodoro technique. Anybody knows what Pomodoro technique? Let me know in the Q&A. Just curious if you guys ever heard of this technique. I absolutely love this technique. I'm just looking at a chat here. So what this technique is scheduling time to work. Now, does anyone like sit down to work on clean checks or charts for like 4 hours? That is not a very productive use of your time. So brain studies show that brain can only focus, keep attention, can focus for a certain amount of time. Typically, it's about 45 minutes of focus and 15-minute break. So I want you to actually use a timer. And if you're anything like me, if timer like annoys you, not set an alarm, but actual timer, you actually want to see the clock ticking. And you can just like put it down, your phone face down, but you want a timer that keeps you accountable. It's gonna like throw you in the flow, like throw you in the high focus. And only do it for either 45, 50, or 55 minutes. Do not do hours, 90 minutes at a time. Your brain will lose focus. You will start drifting. You'll start checking social media. You'll start checking your emails. You're going to want to snack or pee. Just don't do it. You're going to lose your focus. I personally do 50, 10. Many people do 45, 15. Do this. I promise you are going to be so much more focused in that time that you're actually working and the timer is running. Okay. And when the timer is running, we don't go to the bathroom. There's no water breaks. Like we are working hands down. Okay. So brain needs breaks and water, right? Your brain needs water. So whenever you are working on a task, you're doing something on your schedule, your calendar, make sure to drink water. And if you're anything like me, I used to not drink water when I was clinical because then you have to go to the bathroom and it's very inconvenient. So I just learned that it's inconvenient to be a human when you're an orthodontist. Does anyone experience that? Let's not do that. We're humans. And final thing is boundaries. We're going to talk all about boundaries because I hear this very often that you create this beautiful schedule, but then somebody asks you to do something or the spouse is upset and things like that. So we're going to talk about boundaries soon. All right. So you create your schedule and you didn't stick to it. Like things took you longer or you didn't even know what to schedule, emergencies flew, and what do? You customize it, okay? And here's how you customize it. You want to review your week, okay? You want to look at your schedule and decide, oh, okay, so I thought it's going to take me 45 minutes to get ready in the morning, but it actually takes me an hour. That's good to know. Like you can try to squeeze it in 45 minutes, but you'll feel rushed. Rather plan an hour. Review your week, but please don't judge yourself. It's the worst thing you can do. Like when you talk down to yourself and you beat yourself up, you're not going to want to follow through on your schedule and on this system. Remember, like from the very beginning, we talk about your relationship with time, your attitude is everything. We want to maintain a useful, positive attitude. So this is just data. We're reviewing it to improve it. Let's please not beat ourselves up, okay? And then you use that knowledge to improve your schedule next week. Remember, what you're learning right now is a skill, and any skill takes time, okay? How do you review your week? Anyway, like you can look at your actual calendar and make some notes and adjustments. I give my clients the like assess your day sheet where we look at what went wrong, what went right, and what we can do differently. And I'm going to send you guys email with links to download this. Either way works. There's no perfect or magic sheet or paper, but you definitely want to be looking at your week. All right. You ready? So you'll learn the process. Do you guys remember what it was? Right? highlight, schedule light. Easy, right? Okay. So let's look at top 3 mistakes that cost you. And if you guys have any questions before that, I'm looking at them. I see a couple of questions. I'm going to answer them right after that. Okay. Hold it. Thank you. Let me see here. Okay, amazing. All right, guys, top 3 mistakes that cost you time. Mistake number 1, you are keeping it all in your head. Remember, step number 1 was to write it down. I cannot stress that enough. Most of us kind of write something down. We kind of have a couple of sticky notes. We kind of text ourselves a little bit, something we just know because we do it week after week after week. But I cannot stress this enough. Please take a sheet of paper or open the Google Doc and just unload everything from your brain. If anything, you are going to feel amazing that everything is like in one place and organized, and it's just gonna feel great. I promise you. So that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is you don't know how to prioritize, right? Sometimes you don't prioritize at all, or you don't know. So how do we know? How do you decide? Remember, I taught you what's urgent, something that needs to be done within 24 hours. What's important is what leads you towards your goals, bigger goals. I'll give you some examples. Don't worry. Okay. So here's what I like to teach people. There are 2 types of work that we do. Okay. So everything on your list, on your to-do list, or on your mental in your head can be separated into 2 big like piles. One is work that moves the needle towards your ultimate goals. Okay. The big stuff. And other things are just tasks. All right. So we get overwhelmed and there's too much going on when we mix these 2 things together. All right. Because there's always going to be tons of tasks and we don't have to be at our top brain capacity, brain power to do them. But when we mix them together, we have a lot of busy work. There's a lot going on and our head just wants to explode, right? Like I'm just picturing that like head explosion emoji. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Have you guys seen this? It was like a challenge for uh, what are the top 3 emojis that you use most often that are going to reveal a lot about you? I was like, I'm not sharing that with anyone. It used to be a lot of that exploding head emoji. So how to prioritize? We need to know what are big stuff and what are just tasks. And I'm going to tell you how to do this. Okay. All right. So let's look at examples. Career, right? Career and life are basically our 2, like if I have to really simplify it, the 2 big buckets of our big goals in life are career and life. Okay. So here are examples of some of your big goals. I want to grow my practice to 5 million. I want to add a 5th chair. I want to hire an associate. I want to only work 2 days clinically. I want to buy a practice. I want to sell practice. So something big that you're working towards. Okay. And then when we're going to do it, once you write down that list, and again, don't worry, I'm going to help you with that. You are going to reverse engineer each goal and schedule those tasks that need to happen. Okay. Like for example, I don't know, we can get any. Grow your practice, right? You're going to break it down to, okay, how much I'm making right now, how much do I want to be making, break it down per quarter, break it down per month. Look at how many new patients do you have right now? How many do you need to have? What is our marketing effort? What is my marketing right now? Is there anything else I can try? How much more staff do I need to hire? Do I need to hire an associate? Do I need to open an extra day? Do I need to extend my hours? Like you start reverse engineering, doing all this math to get to your desired revenue. And all these things, like for example, I need to hire more assistants, right? I need like 3 more assistants in order to serve this many patients. That goes on your schedule. That goes on your to-do list, and then you schedule it. Put up an ad, start interviewing people. Do you see what I'm talking about? These are big important tasks that are going to go on your schedule, which are moving you towards your ultimate goal, versus other tasks like mop the floors, get my nails done, and call a friend or something like that, right? Not that they're not important, but they're not moving the needle towards your ultimate goals. You guys with me? All right, let's look at some personal ones. Here are some life goals. And again, these are two big buckets. I'll give you more what I do with my clients. Like get married, right? Maybe like this is one of your big goals. You're like, I want to get married. Or maybe you want to have a child. Or maybe you want to have a third child, right? Or you want to lose weight. Or maybe you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. You're like, it's very important for me to, lower my blood pressure, cholesterol. Or you're not exercising, you're exercising once in 2 months. You're like, I really want to be exercising, I don't know, 4 days a week, right? This is important for you. Stop smoking, things like that. Pay off my house. So again, we're going to reverse engineer what needs to happen, right? You want to get married. I want to be going on dates, right? Like I need to have time in my schedule to respond to dating apps, like things like that, right? And this is going to go on your schedule. These are two basic buckets, career and life. What I actually do, if you guys are interested, I do something called similar to the Wheel of Life. This is what I do in like a priority audit call. I do sessions, and I'm going to send you guys after this class an email with a link where you can schedule that completely free, completely complimentary. It's my I just want to help you. And I'm gonna walk you through 6 different areas of life, not just career and life. We're gonna break them down actually into health, relationships, money, time, things like that, spirituality. Where we're gonna set some goals, and these are your big important goals that you're going to reverse engineer. The rest are tasks. Okay, I hope that's clear. I hope that makes sense. All right, so that was mistake number 2, right? We don't prioritize. We don't know what to prioritize. We're like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. I don't even know where I'm heading. I don't even know what I want. That's what I'm going to help you do. Now, mistake number 3 is you don't follow through on your calendar. That's a biggie. Let me know in the Q&A if that's you. Let me see. Let me see you raise some hands. Yep. Yep. Anastasia said, yes, that's me. Let me see. Let me just take a quick look at the Q&A. Alexandra says, yep. My husband. Yeah, I feel you. Husband says a big one. Husband. Okay. All right. So mistake number 3, you don't follow through on your calendar. Here's top 3 reasons why I see people don't follow through on their to-do list, on their calendar. We're trying to do it perfectly. Perfectionism, it's in our blood. I don't care what your specialty is. When we go to dental school and they teach us how to perfectly carve out class 2 with loops, like all the fulcrum and all the things, you can't help it. You become a perfectionist, right? So I feel like it takes a certain personality to become a dentist, to get accepted to dental school, and then they train us to be professional perfectionists. And then if you go to residency or not, like I went to orthodontics, it's definitely perfectionism on steroids. So if you try to do something perfectly, you're not going to finish that. It's going to hold you back from following through on your calendar. And that actually leads to number 3 here, procrastination. It's so funny. We call it in coaching a thought error. Like we think, oh, I just want to do something perfectly. It's such a perfect example. I just coached somebody, and she was working on a project, and she says, but Jana, she was working on the schedule. And she says, Jana, but I really want to get it done perfectly. And I go, so what did you do? You know what she said? She did nothing. Because when we think that we want to do something perfectly, we feel so overwhelmed. There's so much pressure for this perfectionism to do something amazingly that we don't even start. We don't even do it because our brain just gets so overwhelmed with the amount of work it's going to take to get that done that we don't even start. Right? Anybody can relate to that? I definitely can. So these 2 things, perfectionism and procrastination, will definitely prevent you from moving forward. And yeah, I brought here up, we'd already talked about the Pomodoro technique. It helps. So these three things, Pomodoro, Parkinson law, and do be work intentionally, really help with these perfectionism, procrastination. So remember Pomodoro, you're going to set up a timer for focus time, for when you go into focus, from 45 to 55 minutes, and then there's a break. And I want you to do something intentionally. You may cringe, but give it a try for at least a week. I want you to intentionally decide that you are going to do a B work. Okay, whatever it is that you're doing, finishing charts, cooking, exercising, just decide that you're not going to do it perfectly. But do it intentionally, because what typically happens is we want to do it amazingly, and then we don't, and then we beat ourselves up, and then we never do it again. Okay, so I want you to decide intentionally, listen, I'm going to write this email, I'm going to respond to this dentist, and it's going to be an okay response. Do it intentionally. Watch what happens. You're going to start completing so many more things. You're going to build momentum. You're going to feel amazing. Your relationship with time is going to start changing. All right. You're going to see a lot more productivity and accomplishment in a week. Parkinson's law. Anybody heard about it? Anybody heard about it? So what it means, we're not talking about tremor. Parkinson law states that the amount of work expands based on how much time we have to complete it. Anybody can relate? So what it means is if you give yourself 4 hours to clean the kitchen, how long do you think it's going to take you to clean the kitchen? That's right, 4 hours. If you give yourself half an hour for treatment plan, how long do you think it's going to take you for treatment plan? You see the pattern here, right? That's why we want to schedule time, we want to decide how much time each task is going to take us. Don't just give yourself tons of time. Don't just say, I'm going to catch up on the weekend. That's how we end up burning out, and we don't really stay focused. And so we're kind of half-assing things and not having that separation from work and life, and ultimately don't have work-life balance. So I want you to decide, how long is it going to take you to complete this task? Like, example, I was working on this presentation. I told myself, I'm going to give myself 4 hours to research, create, proofread, add pictures, and practice. And it took me just that. I showed up on time. Okay. Again, it's a skill, it's practice. Now, the big one in the middle, people pleasing. Okay. I love this picture. It's so happy. It's so funny. It's like, no matter the emotion she feels, her face is the same. I saw it and I thought it was genius. So people pleasing, we all know what people pleasing is, right? When somebody asks us to do something and our calendar says, I'm going to go work out, and somebody says, yeah, but can you just please do this? Just this one time. And we say yes. We're saying yes because we don't want to offend this person, right? We want to be nice, right? We want to be helpful. We want them to like us. Sometimes we want to avoid, I put here, a perceived conflict. Okay, what do I mean by that? This often happens with like loved ones or spouses, or even with our staff, right? We think that if we follow through on our calendar of what we plan to do, even if we told them like, hey, we're doing this, are you on board? Are you on board? Okay, great. Time comes and they don't want to follow through. And we're just afraid that they're going to get upset at us, or there's going to be some sort of altercation or some sort of conflict. And I say that it's perceived because the way we interact with people, our relationship with people, are just our thoughts about them. So if you choose not to see a discussion with your spouse or with your team member as a conflict. If you choose to not see it as that, it's not going to be a conflict, right? You can always say, listen, I love you and I'm going to go work out. I love you and it's time to put kids to bed. I understand. I get it. You're totally allowed to be upset, and I'm going to love you through this. Totally see it. See what I mean? And this is where boundaries come into place. And I say here, boundaries are for you and not for them, meaning boundaries is what you are going to do when somebody does not follow suit, right? It's like we don't have to force them. We don't have to make them do anything. Like adults are allowed to do whatever they want to do, but we are going to follow through what we're doing. All right. And here I said, understanding how relationships work is what I will probably make another class just on that, but understanding that we truly, I know it may sound crazy, but we cannot make anybody feel anything. It's always their thoughts. So we can't really offend people. We can just say words and then they can choose to interpret them as they want. And of course, if it's, our loved ones or our team members, we always want to come from love and we always want to come from understanding. But you can say with love, no, and hug them and go do the thing. Okay. So that's what I mean by perceived conflict. And truthfully, if you abandon your priorities, your goals, remember how we have these like big life goals. Let's say you want to lose weight, you want to lower your cholesterol, for example, and you reverse engineered it into working out on what is today, on Wednesdays, right? And your partner comes and really wants to have a takeout or watch a movie and things like that. And you're just afraid that, if you go and work out, he's going to get upset or maybe it will strain the marriage a little bit. And maybe that's the case, but then what? You're going to end up in a strained marriage with health issues and overweight. Might as well go do the exercise, do your follow through on your plan and work out the relationship. See what I'm saying? Okay. All right, let me see. I think I have more here. All right, so let's summarize. We talked about the 3-step system: write, highlight, and schedule light. Okay, very easy. And we talked about the top 3 mistakes. You're keeping it all in your head. I know it seems simple and I keep hammering it down, but there's magic in it. I really want you to guys write it down and unload it on a piece of paper. If anything, you're going to sleep better. I promise you. I even had a client who kept a notebook next to her bed. So whenever she would wake up, I'm like, oh my gosh, have to do whatever that was on her list. Have to do this. She would just write it down. At some point, actually, I think it was in the residency, I found a waterproof notebook. So I had it in my shower. I had it with me in my shower. True story. I think my husband is on this call. I don't think he knows that. So we're going to chuckle a lot after that. But yeah, I actually had a waterproof pencil and a pen. So just write that stuff down because I didn't want to keep it in my hand. Magic. Promise you. Okay. So don't keep it in your head. Imagine to prioritize. And a big mistake is, oh, of course, Zoom is doing this thing, is not knowing your big goals. I give you a little bit of a glimpse, the wheel of life that I will do with you on a call, complimentary, because I want you to succeed. And the last part is the 3 P's: perfectionism, people pleasing, and procrastination. We don't follow through. All right. Let's see what's next. Questions. Yay. I finally get to go get to your questions. I can't speak today. See, it's like doing these calls in the evening. All right, let me go back. All right, let me pull up some questions and I'm going to answer them. Okay. So here's one. Ashley says, I feel so overwhelmed. I don't even know where to start. Okay, Ashley, I want you to start with a to-do download. Okay, write down if you feel super overwhelmed. I'm sorry, but that's okay. It is because you're thinking that there's so much going on. And what I need you to do is I need you to unload it all on a piece of paper. Just literally get off this call, write it all down. That's where you start. Okay, that's your step number one. All right, let me see. Lyra says, I don't know what are the activities that will move the needle for me. Okay, so the activities that will move the needle for you are those big goals, right? The goal map, the career and the life goals. And if you are struggling, you can literally just write down, hey, when do I want to retire? Like for career, one big bucket. When do I want to retire? How much do I want to make? What I want to see in my practice? How many days do I want to work? Top 3 questions. And then life. Just look around your life. Do I want to change in my social status? Do I want change in my body? Do I want to change in my habits? Is there any specific books do I want to read? Do I want to spend more time personal development, things like that? If you struggle with this, don't worry. Right here. I already skipped to the next slide and I don't know how to go back. But I'm going to offer you a free priority audit poll. That's a tongue twister. Basically, I'm going to help you do this. We're going to schedule a call and I'm going to help you prioritize. I'm going to help you figure out what are those activities that will move the needle for you. Okay. All right. Great question. All right. Mariella asks, I used to be a planner, but after I got married, things started to slide. My husband is a go with the flow kind of guy. And whether I want to stick to my calendar, and whenever I want to stick to my calendar, he guilt trips me into doing something else. For example, I want to work out on weekends, but he says we never spend time together. Okay, Mariella. So here's what I want you to do. It's very common. Anybody here married has this situation. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to schedule time with him. Remember in our scheduling, was it in highlight? I think it was in step highlight, but I told you guys to prioritize yourself first, put yourself first on the calendar. Okay. So I want you to actually schedule time to chat with your husband. Like, I know it might sound weird, but whenever you have time to spend with him on the calendar and it's time for you to work out, you're going to say, honey, I cannot wait for 4 p.m. so we can cuddle up and talk and watch TV or do nothing, go for a walk, whatever that is, go to the movies, eat, watch Netflix. Like, I can't wait for that time, but right now I'm working out. Love you. And you go work out. Okay. Whenever there is time on the calendar for you two to spend time together, it is easier for you to follow through on that boundary. Remember, I said, I told you guys boundaries are for what you are going to do when other people don't cooperate or don't like respect your boundaries. I mean, they're not respecting them like in a mean way because they don't like care about you or stuff like that. But we have different priorities, right? Different people have different attitudes, they have different thoughts in their head. And so it's okay if they don't see it the way you do, but it's on you to stick to your schedule. And you do that if there's time for you to spend with your husband. Okay. All right. Amazing question. I love that. Somebody is asking more about how to set personal and professional goals. Okay, guys. So this is what I'm going to talk about. No Stress DDS is, I told you guys, I'm a life coach and I coach women dentists. Hello to any of my clients. And my program is called No Stress DDS. And so what I'm going to do for everybody who showed up on this call, I want to offer help. I want to offer a free call with me, 1 hour, where I am going to help you set those priorities. Okay. I'm going to walk you through a list of different areas and I'm going to help you decide what your goals are. And if you're like, I have no idea, I don't even know what I want, don't worry. I've got you. I have questions to ask to get an answer. And sometimes it is to put on your calendar to make a decision, to get more information. Okay. All right. So how can you get your hands on this call? The best way is actually to go on my social media. Okay. I think everybody's on the Instagram these days. So if you look up my name, No Stress DDS, my handle, right? 2 days ago, I was interviewed on a podcast and I forgot that word, handle. I was like, my name. Yeah. My children are going to be more eloquent in social media for sure. So my handle, No Stress DDS, and you see here a link where that you can click, and it's going to look something like this: book a free consult. So that's that call where I can help you set your goals. All right, my friends. All right, and I think this is it. And we're at time. Look at me, not wasting anybody's time. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, either put them in the Q&A or you can send me an email. It was a pleasure. Let me stop sharing my screen. There you go. Yay. All right, finishers. We have a couple of finishers here. It was a pleasure to spend an evening with you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. I hope it was super helpful. Please do this tonight or tomorrow. Do your list, prioritize, figure out a way to schedule it. Electronic, paper, both, does not matter. Just please get started. Okay? All right. Have a beautiful evening.